everybody. Just a quick update today on where I'm at with my Musket and Tomahawks. I've been working on these quite a bit. They've been taking me some time. The way I elected to proceed since the last video is based on the way I wanted to wash the miniatures, which this isn't really always the case when I paint, but I guess occasionally when I'm going to be using some different shades of washes in my mind, or even different tones of washes, it'll sometimes affect the way I want to proceed with painting and various stages, even with the base colors. And I guess in this case, I realized I wanted to do a bit of a darker wash on the red in particular, but then also that always usually applies to the guns for me, and the weapons, the wood and the metallics. For the skin and the white and some of the other stuff that'll be coming, and the yellow actually, I knew that I was not going to want to use my darkest shade of wash. And so what I ended up doing is, since the last video, I painted the weapons up, and in some cases like the boots for the officer, so the swords, the guns, and things like that. And what I did is, after painting all of the weapons, I did a strong shade of, not a dip, but Army Painter's, you know, it's funny, they call it strong tone, it's an ink is what it is. They refer this as an ink, and so it has a very similar, it has a nice similar look feel to some of the dips that they make, but it's much thinner, like a traditional wash. And I use oftentimes the soft tone. I just picked this up in the last couple months, and because I've really liked their soft tone, I wanted to try this one out. I find that I use all the washes. You know, I'm a fan of Agrac's Earthshade, as for those of you that watch the channel, you know I've used it quite a bit, and this is kind of getting kind of empty here. I find that some of the GW washes, in particular the Null Oil and the Agrac's Earthshade, is they I find them a little messier in the sense that they don't wipe up as easily, and they leave a lot of residue, you know, like when you're trying to wipe it away at times, and there's not as much of an even coating at times. Granted, if I put some gloss down, there's ways to counteract it by, you know, putting a little water in and some gloss. I find I really like them for dirty weathering. Like, I really like both of them. You know, I use them on my Space Marines, and I do try to wipe it away with a Q-tip, like some serious wiping it away. But on bases and on certain applications, I love them. But I find when I'm going for a cleaner look, unless I do it early on and then I end up covering it with paint, they're not my favorite, you know, and that's just a personal preference. I know some people swear by them for everything. Like, I'm not saying they're not good. That's just a personal preference. I find these ones a little bit of a cleaner effect, and for certain things they'd be less desirable for me, like I'd mentioned, you know, like basing and just various things where I want a dirtier look. And so I went for that and was happy with it, how it came out, the shading. I even put a little bit on their faces of the strong tone, which, and that's mainly was just to get some of the dark in the recesses of the mouth and the eyes, because I still have another layer of base paint to go on the faces and some highlighting, so I knew that wasn't going to be a problem. Then what I elected to do after doing that wash is to actually do the yellow base coating. There is a little bit of yellow that I'm still going to have to do for details, but this is probably 95% to 90% of the yellow is done. I did that because I noticed on a lot of the shirts that the yellow is sort of the primary color, like here, and then there's a lot of white detailing that's going on top of it. Granted, like on the officer as an example, there is yellow like on the white, and so that would be an example if I was to do that, where I'd still need to get in and do yellow. But for the regulars, there is a lot more yellow than white, except for the kind of greaves kind of thing here. I don't know the proper name of these, but I think they're greaves, something like that. A lot of the white is the detail, and the yellow is actually the foundation of some of the detail of the trim, and so that's why I went yellow next. These are going to look a lot different once I get the white on all the leggings. because right now there's just not enough white, you know, in my mind to make them look kind of British still yet. But they look. I think I made a comment in the last videos. I found these to look like bad representations of like bullfighters, like when I don't have this detail on. I'm not trying to insult bullfighters or anything like that, but I just found the very monotone look, like of the red and the black hat, like just kind of really was not making them look British at all. But yeah, I think I am definitely a step closer. Like it's starting to look more like a uniform, just because of all the starting of the detail. But next, what I think I will do is actually do the white, the solid white colors, and probably the trim on the hats and things. And I have to do their black bag as well. And then I'll be really prepared to now just do all the little bits, like, you know, like all the little dashes of white all over the place. But yeah, no, it's been interesting. You know, actually even working with a facing, like in my Eldar, I've had cases where I've definitely made the capes of the Eldar like Farseer and things, different colors on the inside, but it's not really something I typically do. And so even like on the officer where I've done the facing on the inside, I had to go around and I have to actually correct some areas on this, like you can see right there where it's kind of bled a little bit out. But it's not something I've done a lot, because I've not done a lot of these colonial uniforms in the past, and really even the French that I did before really didn't have much of that at all. And so yeah, I've got quite a bit of work still to do. Doing the 18 of these assembly line is, you know, a bit, how should I say it? It's a bit tedious compared to when I'm doing, like, let's say just 6 natives or, you know, whatever, for each step. But it's been going along pretty good. I was actually pretty happy once I got into the groove with the yellow. It started to turn out pretty good and go a lot quicker. I think the drummer is probably the hardest one with the details to do. I have to switch him up a bit. I was kind of determining how to do his hat. There's a number of ways to do it, but I was really just trying to do his arms here, where he's got this, basically this design here. I mean, some people do it where it's mostly yellow, like for the drummer, and but I was just trying to determine how to do this. I have a lot of cleanup to do in here, but I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it a bit. I think I'm going to add some yellow to the back around the band and to the top of this hat. I'm not really that happy with the hat and the way I've done it so far. But yeah, looking forward to making some more progress, getting these guys to change into the British regulars that they need to be, and then I will be mostly ready to do the demo game. Okay, hope everybody has a good weekend, and take care.